Hello, my beautiful girlfriend. It's a new summer, which means you're probably going to get 2 videos out of me. Um, Today I wanted to show you, I know I've kind of dropped the ball on Red Dead Redemption 2, and I showed you a little bit of Cyberpunk in that one video, but I want to show you the game I've been kind of obsessed with recently. It's The Long Dark. We're going to just take a tour. It's going to take forever to do a tour of the whole island. I might speed some parts up. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to show you all my bases. I'm going to show you some of the prettiest parts because this game is really, really breathtaking. I'm going to talk a little bit about the mechanics, and then maybe I'll talk about my day also if you're lucky. I don't know if you can actually hear the game audio. I know you can't right now, but we'll see. I don't know how required it is. But anyway, let's go ahead and start actually getting into the game here. So I don't know why I'm crouching. Whoops. This is the community center in the region called Pleasant Valley. Most of the beautifulness of the game is all outdoors, but I wanted to show you because I spent a lot of time decorating, working on the base, and stuff. So this is my Pleasant Valley base. It's not my best base. I've had to do a lot of like glitch tricks. I've now downloaded mods, so now I can like do a bunch more decorating and have a lot more freedom. But basically you're not supposed to be able to do this, and I spent a lot of time working with glitches, getting some stuff together. But anyway, so this is a pretty well-stocked base by the game standards. I'm playing on Voyager, which is kind of baby difficulty, but when you die in this game, you die forever, so you lose your save. So I like to play on baby difficulty because I like to dedicate a lot of time and effort to my bases and my safe houses and all that. So I don't want to lose them forever. Even though now that I'm playing on PC, I have backed up my saves a little bit. Because this is just how I play this game. But yeah, so this is that. I'm going to check, do I have all my travel stuff? I've got travel snacks, I've got water. I don't really need to be carrying an axe. I got a bow. Do I have a rifle? Excuse me. I don't have a rifle. Okay, we'll use the bow if we get into trouble then. I'm kind of worse at the bow than I am the rifle. Anyway. It's a terrible tour. I just stayed in one spot. But now we're going to go ahead and tour the rest of Great Bear Island. And I'm really excited about this because this game is genuinely so beautiful. I'm debating where I want to take you first. Let's go to Timberwolf Mountain and Ash Canyon because there's some really beautiful, beautiful spots in there. I feel like we can't really do this video without going to the summit, which is climbing the tallest mountain in the Long Dark that you can climb. And sort of looking out there, see if we can get a good sunset shot, because this game recently with the DLC added a camera so we can take pictures. I don't actually have a lot of my color film left. I really only have the black and white and sepia. Let's see, do I have any color film on me? Okay, I do have some color film on me. But we're going to put that up. We're going to take our bow out in case we run into some trouble. And is that the only arrows I have? No, okay, I have more arrows. You always want to be prepared because the thing about this game is that, once again, once you die in the save, you lose the save, you die forever. So there are predators. You do not want to get attacked by a predator. I've had this save for 500 days, which roughly translates to probably about 100, maybe 200 hours in this one save. So I definitely don't want to lose that time investment, but that also means I am very kitted out. I should probably exchange these while we're doing a tour for the bear outfits, because the bear outfits have a little bit more protection. That makes sense. And so I'm really kitted out, so I'm not super concerned about predators, but like if you get lost in a blizzard, like you have to know the maps in this game to not die kind of immediately. Which is why this is my first long save. I'm trying an interloper-ish save, and it's ish because I've disabled, there's this enemy called Timberwolves, and Timberwolves are so... I like that the game has challenge, but I find the Timberwolves to be just kind of obnoxious to deal with, because other predators, there's one predator. The Timberwolves act as a pack, not a pact. And if we see them, we're going to try to avoid them as opposed to engaging with them because they're not disabled on this save. But in Interloper, I've lost my last couple Interloper runs. 2 Timberwolves. One was sort of just a rage quit because I only had the save for 2 days. And I had a fire, so I could have staved them off. You have to, basically they work as a pack. So they have a morale meter. and you have to get the morale meter down. And when you have a weapon, that's not a big deal, because if you shoot one, the morale meter goes way down. But if you don't have a weapon, your option is to throw stones and torches at it, which takes literally so long, like obnoxiously long, for them to lose interest in you. And then even then they can just come back. Like it is genuinely very obnoxious. And it used to be, before they updated the game with what they called the wildlife refresh, Timberwolves were only localized to 2 regions of the map, and those regions were, was it 2 or 3? There were Timberwolves in Blackrock, there were Timberwolves in Bleak Inlet, and this wind is a little loud, so I'm going to make sure the audio mixing is a little bit okay, so bear with me there. We're going to turn the desktop audio down a little bit. But I hope you can still hear the game, but you don't necessarily have to. Anyway, there were Timberwolves in at least Blackrock and Bleak Inlet that I know of. Were there Timberwolves anywhere else? I feel like those were the only 2 regions Timberwolves were in. Oh, and the DLC region Sundered Pass. But they updated the game, and so now, oh, see, here's a wolf. Now, wolf mechanics aren't too bad. This is not a Timberwolf, this is just a normal wolf. And we can do what's called walking the dog, though we're getting a little bit close here. He might attack. And if you just keep walking, he'll just follow you and he'll never catch up to you. If he gets troublesome, we can shoot him with our bow. That's why we have it. Oh, he gave up really fast. They do not usually give up that fast. Winners stay winning. Awesome. What was I saying? Something about Timberwolves? Anyway, now they've updated it to where they can be in almost every map. I did not like that change, because to me, Bleak Inlet and Blackrock are worth going to because they have what's called the ammunition station and the milling machine. So that means really, really late game, when all your tools are broken, you can, and hopefully in this tour of Great Bear we'll come across at least one Aurora, so I can sort of show you those. But when the Aurora is on, which is like the Northern Lights, that it's a geomagnetic storm that makes everything power on. And when the Aurora is on, you can repair your tools with just like a piece of scrap metal, which is super easy to come across. And you can also make ammo. Now, the different levels of this game difficulty mean that not every player is going to benefit from making ammo, because it used to be the hardest version of the game was Interloper. Now there's a version called Misery, and Misery is kind of what it says on the tin. It's really, really difficult. But Interloper, you can only have the bow. In Voyager, you can have rifles and revolvers. In Interloper, in order to get a weapon, you have to first craft a weapon. And it takes 6 in-game days to cure a maple sapling. In order to get a maple sapling, you have to get a hacksaw. Basically, it's really hard to get much harder to get a weapon in Interloper. Though once you have the bow, it's still harder than Voyager, but like once you have the bow, you kind of stabilize a little bit, because then you can hunt for food. This game is really about, it's the long dark, so it's really about persisting for a very long time, trying to use the resources you have, and doing all that good stuff. And I realized during this tour, I've not been showing you sort of the beauty of the game. You can see kind of this going on, and we might get a blizzard here with how fast the snow is moving. I hope not, because that really limits visibility and turns this Great Bear tour into Great Bear Survival. But that's also the core of the game anyway, so we're showcasing some gameplay elements. I'm throwing a lot of information to you. Truthfully, most of the game is walking. Most of what you're going to be doing in this game is walking around, hunting things, eating things, drinking things. I don't actually know if I've ever just gone places to show them. Normally I'm transporting things around, I'm doing different stuff. I really should be taking you can have notes in this game, so if I open up this tab, you can see there's like notes. Somehow my notes got erased. I think I might have actually deleted them and started taking them in person, but I can't find the notebook I put them in. So now I should go back to all my bases and take stock of what I have in each base. Not that it really matters. At this point, most of the bases are stocked up enough that I can survive at least 20 days. They're fine. But where we're going right now is we're walking through Pleasant Valley, which is a fairly large region. I can show you how I've got it mapped out. That's where we are. We're probably about here now. And then there's a bunch of different stuff all around. The farmhouse is another popular safe house. Now, I've made mine Thompson's Crossing down here, the community hall. But a ton of people build bases in this region in the farmhouse. And when I say bases, this game, the map is so big. And you know different maps to different levels and degrees that there's so many regions. I think there's, I don't know, off the top of my head. There's probably about 10 regions in the game, and you kind of want to have some sort of base in every major region. There's also like transition regions and mini regions, but fundamentally you want to have a base in every region because then if something happens, like you get attacked and you just need a safe place to go, there's something not too far away. I love this game because even when you lose a save, like even when you die, you have learned a lot, because one of the key ways to survive in the long dark is to know the maps, is to know how to get from one place to the next place. There's this map, but you have to see how there's like little black spots. You have to draw the whole map. So you have to use this thing called charcoal, which I don't have right now. You have to use this thing called charcoal to map it out, and the maps aren't very good. And if you'll notice, like a lot of video games will show you a little arrow to show where your character is. This doesn't. So basically you just have to have a really good sense of direction and or spend a lot of time in these maps to learn them. So I know a good amount of the maps. There are still some maps that I'm not very good at. Hush River Valley is one that comes to mind. We will probably go there because it is beautiful. I'm debating if I want to take us to the far territory. I think that's just an extra voyage that isn't really worth the tour. Maybe we'll go to Transfer Pass. If I do that, I'll cut out Far Range Branch Line, though, because it's just not a very fun thing to look at. I would just have to be rambling forever. Like even now I'm kind of struggling because there's not a ton of things to point out on our way. Where wildlife spawns is also static, so if you play this game for 400 hours like I have, you start to learn, oh, there's going to be a wolf here, or oh, like blah 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 blah, there's a moose there or a bear here. So all of that helps. I'm really excited to show you Timberwolf Mountain, but also Ash Canyon. Ash Canyon's one of my favorite regions. Ash Canyon is just so cool. It's like a burned down forest. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. It's like a burned down forest. It's just pretty awesome. Okay, we're taking a right here. I've definitely gone kind of the long way here. I wasn't really paying attention because I'm trying to commentate as I walk. But here is the rope climb to Timberwolf Mountain. And how heavy am I? I'm not that heavy. I have 7 kilos. And we're not actually, I've looted most of the map on the save because once again, I've probably been on it for 200, 300 hours now. So I don't have to worry about picking up too many things. I definitely have looted Ash Canyon though, because I just love going to Ash Canyon, so there's almost no way I haven't explored that whole region. I mean, in this save, I've even explored Bleak Inlet, and Bleak Inlet and Black Rock are probably the 2 least favorite maps. Some people love Bleak Inlet. I am not a Bleak Inlet girl. I've almost died too many times there. I don't like the Timberwolves. Black Rock is also scary, but Black Rock, I think the prison's really cool. Also, they both have, Black Rock is worse connectivity though. Black Rock is really far out. I've installed a mod to make a little shortcut in the prison because the prison's really annoying to navigate otherwise, as is the cannery and Bleak Inlet. But those are the 2 places that have the milling machine and the ammo maker that I was talking about last time. So ammo's really limited in this game. Not so much anymore because there's a trader that you can trade stuff with. That didn't used to be the case, but ammo's really limited in this game. So you have to conserve it. You have to be careful. You can't just go willy-nilly firing stuff. In Voyager, you'll be okay, but Stalker's a little bit more conservative. You have to be with ammo. But once you fire a bullet, you can collect the shell, and then you can make gunpowder, which I think is a limited resource. I don't think you can make, like, I think you're limited on how many times you can craft ammo. But the ammunition workbench just lets you craft more ammo, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. We should be coming up, and I should have given you a look back while we were up there, but I think it's a little bit foggy. Yes, we should be coming up on Timberwolf Mountain now. And Timberwolf Mountain has one of my favorite safe houses, and one of the community's favorite safe houses, the Mountaineer's Hut. It's just such a cozy little cottage. I don't remember what mine looks like on this save, so this will be exciting for me to revisit and sort of show you. This serves as both the tour of Great Bear and a tour of all the safe houses that I have designed and made. And I'm really excited to get into the mods that I've installed, which I think I'm going to start with on this save because I just have so many more excess resources. But I'm really excited to get into the mods that I've installed, because they will, and I guess that's another reason to explore the world. I have to pick up nails and stuff, but they allow me to customize my safe house, like, even better. Like, I can place anything anywhere. I can place stuff outside, which you can't normally do in the base game. Yeah. So I'm excited to play with those mods on this save and just turn those safe houses that I've spent so much time working on into something even better. Because like I said, I've been doing glitches and exploits to get some things that you're not supposed to do really in vanilla, but those take so long and they're so obnoxious to use that I'm just sort of happy to have the advanced tools now. But coming up, it's a little bit foggy, which is unfortunate. I can't really show you the summit, but you can see, I mean, just look at how beautiful this game is. And I think that up there is the summit. So we'll climb up there to sort of show you. It could be, there could be a mountain there. That could be just like a background mountain, but I think that's the summit. But unfortunately it is a little foggy right now. We'll have to sleep soon anyway. Yes. So you can kind of see the little tip of that plane. There's a plane crash on the summit that has just legendarily good loot. I've summoned it a couple of times before on this save. There still might be something left over. And then once we summon, I'll show you a cool trick called goading. So get excited for that. But it's going to take us at least a couple of real life hours to get up there, if not more. We're going to go the Ash Canyon route too, because I want to show you Ash Canyon in the meantime. And I don't know. I'm kind of commentating now. If I go quiet, I might just skip a little bit of all this walking. But there's so much about this game I want to show. Let's pick up this birch bark. Birch bark is useful for the trader, and you can also make birch bark tea. So if I'm in dire straits, I can heal myself up. But in Voyager, you don't really need it, because in Voyager, you heal a lot when you sleep. We're going to go through this sort of fun fallen tree here, and how wet am I getting? We're going to go through this fallen tree here, and kind of as soon as we crest this hill, you should see the Mountaineer's Hut. One of the best bases in the game, agreed on by kind of most the Long Dark community players. It's not the biggest, and you can get cold in it, which is not great, but there's just something so cozy about it. And once you get the woodworking tools, which helps you customize a safe house and build furniture, see, there she is. Is that not just like the cutest, coziest cottage? Okay, our visibility is getting even worse, which is kind of sucks. I hope we get a clear night though. I was hoping to do this tour mostly during the day, but it looks like maybe we'll have to get a move on during the night. Maybe I'll pass time. I have so many resources I don't have to have this mindset. See, that might be a timber wolf. I don't know. I can't tell from here. Usually there's more than one if it is. Okay, I've got some bear meat here. So we're gonna eat this. Gonna finish off that one. I have tons of water. Let's go ahead and drink that. Alright. And this is my little thing. Safe house. So let's put this away. So I have a ton of lanterns, a ton of food I got at the summit. Just kind of an insane amount of tools there. But this is the general vibe. It's really small, so I've really tried to like conserve space by kind of putting this bed in here, and I honestly might turn it around this way. There we go. So it's not quite as cozy as it could be, because I wanted to have this shelf space. But it's just such a cute cabin. Now this is a picture of the ice caves. You can take pictures and frame them, which is awesome. I love that. It's in the DLC. It's a great addition to the game. I think that's the ice cave. No, it's not an ice cave. Is that the cave in the Far Territory? I don't remember. More lanterns. I have a rifle in all of my main bases. What do I got in here? Oh, just like random stuff. Tons of food, tons of coffee. Some cured birch, some black bear hides. Just black bear hides? I should probably put deer hides in here, to be honest. But that is for future me. That's a picture I took. I think that's Coastal Highway. But we're going to go ahead and spend the night here. This is not my cutest base. I have to do some stuff to cutify this base, I think. Do I have the woodworking tools on me? I do. It's just hard to have the furniture work, but you know, actually, I forgot. I can move this outside now. So let's just very quickly do this. Okay. Kind of stack those. Ugh, I love this decoration mod. And we can stack these as well. Okay, maybe not. Oh, so good. No. That you can stack stuff. Much, much helpful change. Alright. Let's move this. No. Okay. This might be a little bit buggier than I had hoped. Wow. I'm going to go ahead and move everything off of this first so I don't just lose it to the floor. Put sewing kit there. So many hacksaws here. Hacksaw there. Hacksaw there. I probably want to keep a hacksaw on me. I might need a hatchet, but whatever. Alright. Okay, whatever. Move there. Okay, it's gonna force me to leave anyway, but I can enter it outside here. There we go. And let's just put this kind of out here. Right. Right, okay, this is gonna be a little bit difficult to make sense. Alright, let's just put it at the back here. And I don't know if I'm gonna remember that it's out there, but it's not my best work. I guess I should put it here if it will. Yeah. There we go. A little bit more sense. Alright. And I hope that this keeps everything, because if not, it's going to be a pain in the ass to move. We did keep most things. Let's put it. Alright. Move this bench to be sort of the bedside table. I know this has kind of turned into decorating a stream. Wow. Gonna be sort of... But I can't show this off and then have... Stop. A bad base. I keep pressing C because in Cyberpunk to crouch is C. Okay. Alright. Stop. Put the revolver there. Put the ammo there. Move all of our hacksaws back over. Boop. Put all of our axes up here. The axes are really handy to have this mod for because they can be so glitchy when you try to put them, stack them like this. And if I lost a couple of stuff, that's Not the biggest deal. As you can see, I have 1 William items. So, stop. Go ahead and put this down here. There we go. I feel like I've lost something, but I'm not that pressed about it. Alright. We need to go to sleep here. Visibility is so bad. I hope it clears up. So let's go ahead and drink some water. I don't have any... Okay, I do have some cured fish, so we're going to take a couple of these for the road and sleep for 10 hours, and then we'll pass some time. Unless we have an aurora. If we have an aurora, I don't really want to go out because they're really dangerous, but they are beautiful. So I'll at least show you what's what. It does not seem... Oh, we do have an aurora. So an aurora means all the electronics kind of work. I wish we were in a different place to show this, because the only electronic in this is just that. But we can come out here and just see how beautiful that is. So that's the plane crash there. We're going to head that way to Ash Canyon. But just like, this game is so beautiful. So let's go ahead and commemorate this moment on our tour by taking a little picture there. Yeah, that's a good one. Holster it. Now, the thing about the aurora is it is beautiful. It makes visibility great. It makes animals really, really dangerous. So I'm tempted to go just because the visibility is so good. But I think I don't want to lose this save to, like, yapping and not paying attention. But you see how these lights are on? It kind of makes every electronic work for the night. Which is good in some ways, bad in others. So we're going to go ahead and drink some water. We're going to eat some of those steaks that are outside. I guess I hunted a moose semi-recently. And we're just going to pass some time until the aurora passes. So we're probably going to pass about 3 or 4 hours and then sleep a couple more. Seems the aurora maybe ended. Yeah. So in that case, we can go. But I want to get my stamina all the way up. Because I don't think we're going to make too many stops in Ash Canyon. Just because the region is beautiful. The safe houses are meh. There's not really anything there that is just so cozy like in Timberwolf Mountain. Okay. I don't know how this is going to look on YouTube. So I kind of want a brighter situation. We'll wait till the sun comes out. Okay. That should be bright enough to see. Just gonna appreciate the beautiful world, get my bow out again, and head out. How many sticks do I have? I have 19. Let's make that an even 20, and then we can stop collecting sticks. This was sort of just for emergencies anyway. I'm at 39. Okay. Let's see. Is there a wolf? Our wolf friend is over there. Sometimes there can be a wolf right here, but I'm not seeing one today. There can be timber wolves now, too, here. Not super psyched about that. But, say love you, right? Love you. We might run into the bear, depending on the last time we hunted it. And I'm debating if I want to hunt the bear, or if I want to sort of leave him to his own devices. But yeah, so this is Timberwolf Mountain. Just beautiful. We're going to go up there. The plane crash, and then we can look down. It's a weird tree. I've never seen that tree before. Oh, it was just a model loading. And we can look down on all of this on this lake. Little mountaineer's hut there. Unfortunately, I want to keep angling my camera to the best spots, but I have to look ahead because there can be a bear here. What do I want to show you in Ash Canyon? Do I just want to do the gold mine climb on the way to the summit? Or do I want to go around the region? I'm trying to keep this a little bit fast because this game is massive and it takes a really long time to get from like point A to point B. So I'm trying to keep this tour as brief as possible, just hitting all the good spots. This did kind of look like Alaska though. Like when we were in Alaska, I was like, wow, this is like the Long Dark, but like it low-key is. Loki is like the long dark. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Normally I would keep walking there, but the bear lives in that cave right there. I don't see him today. I'm gonna pause, see if I hear him. I don't hear him either. So maybe I killed him recently. We might get to be bear free. A little ptarmigan. We might get to be bear free today. But I'm gonna keep my eyes out nonetheless, because we do not want to die here. What are my protection? 35%. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. Okay. There's some crows. Where's the crows? They're just flying that way. Now we're going to go into Echo Ravine and head into Ash Canyon pretty soon here. Like I said, I'm trying to keep the tour brief, so I don't think I'm going to go to all of Ash Canyon. I think you get a pretty good sense of it for the locations that we are going, but it is one of my favorite regions. I'm really starting off like strong. Maybe I should have summited last on the tour, but maybe I'll go to Camp Office or Quonset. Maybe I'll go to Quonset last, because Quonset is like my main base. We could also end out on the lighthouse and Desolation Point. What are other highlights of this game? I think we'll skip Bleak Inlet and Black Rock. I just feel like they're not as fun to navigate. We'll just stick to the main. We'll stick to these two, and we'll go all the way around into Mystery Lake, into Coastal Highway, and into Desolation Point. And head back to parts of Pleasant Valley too. And then maybe I'll show Transfer Pass, but maybe I'll just like walk there off camera and then smash cut and we're in Transfer Pass, and I'll show you the depot. Sundered Pass is beautiful. Oh, we should do Hospital Valley and Mountain Town too. Okay. How does Mountain Town connect to Coastal Highway? Through Mystery Lake. We can get to Mountain Town through Forlorn Muskeg. Yeah, I think we'll just have to double up on a couple of regions. I think we'll go to Mountain Town first, and then back through Mystery Lake, show the Camp Office, and then head all the way to Coastal. To the ravine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Got the plan in my head. We might deviate from it. We'll see. I also might totally forget which regions we have been to and which we haven't. But we're now walking into Ash Canyon. One of my favorite regions. Just such a unique region. I say, and you can kind of only see rock right now, but it gets better, I promise. This region is very vertical, so there's lots of bridges and stuff that you can be on. Very nerve-wracking, and we have such a beautiful day. I hope this holds for us. Knock on wood. Normally you would go around that way. I'm gonna kind of show you this vista here, and then also I want to see if the moose is out. So you see we have this massive burned forest and these very dramatic cliffs. We'll be traveling up these cliffs to about over there to the gold mine. And the gold mine, walking through that's going to be a little bit boring. And see, there he is. I don't know if you can see. Let me get on this ledge here. We have the moose over here. Now, I'm going to try not to... Maybe I'll end on hunting some sort of wildlife. But our moose friend is over that way. And moose can be a little bit dangerous, especially this region. Because if they trample you, you get something called broken ribs. And one of my biggest scares here in Ash Canyon was I got broken ribs on a plateau where the only way down was a rope climb. And the thing about broken ribs is they make it so that you can't climb ropes. So I was stuck up there for like 5 days. I had to kill the moose or else I would have ran out of food. It was a little nerve-wracking, but I forgive this region. Bleak Inlet, I will never forgive. I will never forgive Bleak Inlet. But this region I forgive because I like it so much. So we're just going to follow the river here to Angler's Den, which might be our next respite, or we might keep pushing. Actually, I know this region well enough that I don't even have to follow the landmarks, so we aren't going to follow the full river. If you see up there, you can kind of see... I shouldn't put my bow away. You see up there, you can kind of see a cabin. I forget what that cabin is called. You can probably look at it on the map. This is the Timberwolf Mountain. That's Homesteader's Respite. So that cabin is Homesteader's Respite. There's a cool little rope climb there. I don't really go there. I don't like the houses that you have to climb ropes to get up to, because rope climbs just drain your energy, like, a lot. Oh, I realized I haven't explained. There's 4 stats in the Long Dark that you have to keep an eye on, and those are in the bottom left corner there. There's the cold, which we don't have to worry about as much anymore because we're playing on Voyager, so it never gets that cold, and our gear is just top shelf. So you see we're even warming up outside. There's energy, which is the little eye there. That's like you need to sleep. When you climb ropes, it goes down really fast. And just look at this. Such a beautiful region. Such a cool region with the, like, there's nothing else like this in the game with the burnt trees. What was I saying? Oh, then there's water, which is the little teardrop kind of situation there, and food. So all you need to do is keep those 4 in the white, which seems really easy until it's not. Now, this late in the game, it's pretty easy to survive, but when you're first starting out, especially on an interloper and you don't have that bow and food is really scarce, it can be genuinely pretty tough. And it's really devastating to lose a run because, I mean, even just getting the bow is at least 5 to 10 hours of work. There's a YouTuber, Zach Nafane, who, he's a big Long Dark, he's probably the Long Dark guy. Okay, I've gone the wrong way here. For sure, I've gone the wrong way. Because I'm talking, I'm not paying attention. Oh, that's such a cool mountain. But there's YouTuber Zach Nafane, he's really good at this game. And I don't remember why I brought him up, but if you like what you see, you can watch some YouTube videos on it. Okay, it's getting, like, weirdly dark, I feel like, for it being midday. Kind of overcast. How many matches do I have? Oh, I have a Fire Striker. Okay. So we're going to make our way through this dense, rotted forest and head to Angler's Den, which is the only cabin in Ash Canyon that you don't actually need a rope climb to get to. So it makes for a pretty good base. I think I have a few resources here, but it's only like a day's walk away from the Mountaineer's Hut. So I have enough to survive in an emergency, but not enough to, like, sustain long term, I don't think. I guess we're going to see if that's true or not. We're just going to head this way. There's a little waterfall that will come up on here. You can see, I think we're going to climb that bridge, but I don't necessarily remember all of the bridges. That one might be a different place. But okay. We're going to keep making our way through this, just, like, I love Ash Canyon. Ash Canyon's probably one of my favorite regions in the game. Alright, and you can see we're coming across this waterfall here. Just so beautiful. This game is so beautiful. It really is a walking simulator. Like, what you're doing 90% of the time is walking. More so now that we're doing a tour, but we're going to go kind of alongside this waterfall, and then we're going to take a left when the river splits. And there'll be another waterfall that we get to go behind in this region, which is pretty fun. 2, I think, actually. 1 is fun, and 1 is sort of obnoxious. I have my lantern, right? Yeah. Alright. I'm gonna go behind this waterfall here. It might get harder to hear me as we go through water. I'm trying to turn the game's volume down a lot, and I'm trying to learn to speak from my diaphragm. But in moments like this, it might still be hard. There can, I think, be a wolf here. It might be I'm thinking of the other part, where there's a wolf at the end of the other waterfall. But there's some narrow regions here where you have to kind of try to avoid or kill predators, because you're not going to be able to walk the dog, like I showed you in Pleasant Valley, where you just sort of walk and the dog's behind you, the wolf's behind you. I don't think we'll be able to do that, really, in some of the regions. In some of the parts of this region specifically, because, like, this is a very narrow spot. But we're just gonna keep walking here. I'll stop yapping just to show off the scenery a little bit. Should probably look ahead of me. And that's the waterfall we're going to go behind, which means Angler's Den is coming up real soon. I'm glad that the day has stayed relatively clear so I can show off all this. I think if we get into a blizzard or fog or something, I'll just go ahead and stop and pass time at the nearest safe house. Because what's the point of a tour if you can't see anything? Just such dramatic peaks in this region. Oh, I hear a deer. That kind of scared me. And then there's Angler's Den. So I'm curious what we actually have in Angler's Den. Now, Angler's Den can be a little bit dark. I've installed a mod to make the interiors a little bit brighter, but we'll see how visible it is. Such a beautiful game. Okay, holster this. I'm also just gonna pause and double check that my recording is still going and you can still see my face. It seems so. I still don't know if the desktop audio is working, but I hope so. Okay. We got some water, we have some food, which I will indulge in here. So I don't have to eat my travel snacks, so I can save those for when I need them. Drop that. Drink our water that we have for ourselves here. This is not the most prepped safe house. Like I should have eaten that one. Let's see, what do we have going on in here? And I think we'll continue today because we have a good amount of daylight left. I'm gonna get a little tired before we are over encumbered. Okay, we have a revolver. See, this is not like I haven't built any extra furniture. I've just broken down. There used to be bunk beds here. What do we got in here? Just clothes. Okay, so this is Angler's. It's not as exciting as Timberwolf Mountain. A lot of interiors kind of look like this. So we're gonna keep on going. Nothing much to see inside. This region is all about the outer beauty, as are most, but I also want to show off my two most kitted out bases. Maybe I'll try to like get a before and after picture so you can see all the work I did, because I realize, you know, you don't know this game, so when you see like my kitted out Quonset, Garage, and Coastal Highway, you're gonna be like, oh, like, I don't know what you've actually changed from the original. So maybe I'll see if I can find some pictures on the internet and do a before and after for the different places. I think the Pleasant Valley Community Center was a little underwhelming because I had moved there to do stuff and I haven't gotten around to it yet, so maybe I should have, you know, done that before I did my tour, but c'est la vie. It's not as well furnished as some of my other bases. It has all the essential, like, supplies, but it just doesn't look as pretty. Okay, we're gonna go up, and I'm gonna try to show you... Ugh, there's a bug. Stop. The waterfall as we move up here, because this one we get to go behind. But such a stunning waterfall. This game is like taking a hike, but you aren't actually going uphill. It's your character. So it's kind of better than taking a hike, in a way. Alright, but we're going to look at this beautiful waterfall here. And we're going to descend behind the waterfall. I don't actually know, because your clothes can get wet in this game. I don't think they do standing behind this waterfall, but they can. Also, the texture is a little bit, you know, underwhelming, but the idea of going behind it is cool. Alright, we're going to climb up here. Get through this animation. Thank you, Astrid. Oh, whoops. Climb up here. And then there can be a wolf here. So we're going to take our bow out, or make sure we have our bow out. Because this wolf, you're a little bit trapped in there with. You can sneak by it. I've done it before. But you might have to kill it. Yeah, we'll see. This one could go either way, because he's going that way. Maybe I'll just show you killing a wolf, though. Or I'll fail at it, because my Bow skills. Do I have a bandage. Okay. So if we get bitten, it's not the biggest deal. I usually use I haven't played in a while, so I'm going to see if I can get him. Oh, don't do this. Yeah, alright. Get our arrow back. Okay. And then we could harvest it. We don't really need the hide and the guts or the meat, though. So that was just sort of to show off how you deal with the wolves. If you cannot sneak around them. And we maybe could have snuck around him, but I don't think it was really worth it. It just feels so silly to not take the hide. So I'm going to take the hide, actually. Feels very wasteful. Plus the hides are useful for ammo for the trader. And for repairing clothing. Because I think I have the wolf pants and the wolf hat on. So if that gets damaged during our tour, I can repair it with this hide. But you have to cure it. So I probably won't actually repair it with this hide. I'll probably replace a already pre-cured wolf hide in one of my bases with this one. But let's make our way up. And around. There's a lot of waterfalls in Ash Canyon that are beautiful too. Like there's those two, there's the one we just went behind. Excuse me. And there's this one right here. Which to me, I don't know. I feel like to me this is like 2-lane falls. Two lanes is in like 2 lanes on a road. Like it kind of looks like a road to me. I don't know what it's actually called. But that's what it looks like to me. 2-lane falls. 1 lane is a little bit bigger than the other lanes. Alright. We need to pay attention because there can also be a wolf down here. This one is usually a little bit more avoidable, but I'm going to go into a cave, and in this cave I'm going to show you the long dark hack. I've not been showing you a ton of the long dark hacks because I don't need to do them, but we don't have to, but it's just really obnoxious if you don't do it for this one. But let's descend into the cave. Alright. Turn our lantern on here. I like this lantern because it conserves fuel, even if the light is a little bit less than you would normally get. Did you hear that sound? That is the dreaded this waterfall. So this waterfall will drench all of your clothing, and when your clothing's drenched, it protects you from the warmth, not at all, or less, and then if it gets really, really cold, then it becomes frozen, and then you're toast. You have to thaw your clothes. So we don't want any of that. So we're going to take all of our clothes off of Astrid here. So that, for some reason, taking them off means that they don't get drenched. And walk through here. And she's going to make a really sad sound. We're going to light it up. We've gone through there. We're going to get out of the water here. And we're going to put our clothes back on. You'll be okay. Also, that's not true. You've definitely felt colder in your life. How are we doing on 98, 88? Everything in the 80s or 90s repair-wise. Oh! So we could probably repair that, actually. So it's a good thing we grabbed that hide. Okay, we're going this way. I find the way to navigate caves is to go to an incline difference. So to me, like, if I get lost in a cave, I look for if it goes up or down, because that's usually going to lead you to an exit. Is one of my the long dark hacks. But the long dark hack that I just showed you was to take your clothes off before you go through those waterfalls. There's that one. I think there's one in Hush River Valley, and there might be one in the Far Territory somewhere too, in the Transition Cave. But I'm not 100% on that. But I find them kind of obnoxious. I just sort of feel like it's like a chore to take. It's fun. It's a fun feature to have in a cave. It is a little bit of a chore to like take your clothes off. Okay, I'm gonna move this. So when you move this coal, it means coal respawns, And at a cave, if you're not going to pick it up, because I don't need it, maybe I'll pick up one. If you're not going to pick it up, you want to move it, because then it'll leave coal to respawn. If you don't move it, those will just be the 2 coal that are there. But if you move the coal, then you get double the coal when you come back next time. Not that I really need coal from this. The gold mine has tons of coal. I also don't really need coal anymore. But we wanted to stay under our 45, because you can't climb ropes if you're over. Go ahead and climb this rope, and we might even sleep before we head out, just to warm up and to get our fatigue up a little bit. Is there a major... I don't think there's a major rope climb on the way to... the gold mine. There's one going down. I don't know if I have the rope there or not, but we can do what's called goading. We can go down pretty easily. I'm going to pick this up, and we don't need the lantern to get out because we can see the sun. So we're just going to try to make our way up and leave back into Ash Canyon, but now a little bit higher in Ash Canyon than we were before. So now we're sort of on those cliffs. So that's Two-Lane Falls, but from a much higher vantage point. And now we begin the treacherous journey to the gold mine. So we're going to be going over a lot of very narrow, swaying bridges. Path is pretty linear from here on out to the gold mine. There's one deviation that you can do, which you can either go straight here or to the right. If we go straight here, if we go straight here, we're going to go all the way around to a place called Foreman's Retreat, I think it's called, and there can be a bear and a moose there, and I actually really like that spot. I think that is a viable base in Ash Canyon. I like it as a building more than I like Angler's Den, but it's just sort of way out of the way. But look at, gosh, this game is just so beautiful. Okay. Moving on. There's there's going to be a lot of sights to see intermingled with a lot of rocks on this particular path. But as we make our way around the bend, we should get our first, or I guess our second vista. Our first vista was Two-Lane Falls there. It's not called Two-Lane Falls, it's called something else. What's it called? There's Homesteader's Respite, Bitter Marsh. So we came up from here all the way up to Angler's. Foreman's Retreat is what I was telling you about. Maybe it's Broad Falls. I think that's what it is. That could be a different falls, but I think that one is technically called Broad Falls. I like my name better. Alright, so we came from that way. We want to go that way. But let's look at this vista first. And rabbits, we're not going to kill the rabbits. Oh, there's stuff here. There's a ptarmigan here. No, that's not a ptarmigan. That's a fish. There's a hatchet. We have so many hatchets, and I don't want to get over encumbered. But I also feel like I'm not going to... Oh, what a shot. I'm not going to, risk. And then just look at this. There's Bitter Marsh with all the dead trees. I feel like it's like being in Alaska. And we're going to take a picture of this. This is just some great composition here. And then maybe at the end of the tour, we'll make a bunch of frames to commemorate our time together in the long dark. Get this fly out of the way. Real life fly. But let's keep on keeping on here. Oh, how much space do I have? I have enough to take that hatchet. And I feel like I might never be back here on this save. But I'm just not that bothered about it. I'm not that bothered about it. Here we come to our first incredibly treacherous rope bridge. So these bridges look really scary. When there's ropes on either side, I'm pretty sure you can't actually fall off. And I think I have tested this in a save I don't care about. This, you can fall out of this. So there is a little bit of danger here. You have more of a grace period than you think. But I don't know. These still kind of stress me out. And the sound effects of the creaking, ugh. Got stuck on that. Kind of scared me. Okay. When you can have some beautiful views while you're on them, but I'm just not willing to risk this save that I've had for probably about 1 billion years. I do not want to die falling off of a rope bridge. Sort of a dumb way to die. Do I have a stim? Not that a stim would help in this scenario. I have 2 stims on me. Just some wonderful, wonderful vistas here. And then we get to go through the rocks. This path is just such a nice, and such a scenic, like, little route. It's the scenic route up into the summit. We're actually going to descend pretty far before we go back up again. So we're going to have to basically summit, not quite from scratch for Timberwolf Mountain, but pretty close. Okay, I think these crows are circling because the waterfall is right there. I'm not 100% sure of that. That, I don't actually know how to get over in that spot. Right there. Don't actually know where that is. I know that this map I know that, like, some of the routes in this map very well. That's Wolfjaw Overlook, I'm pretty sure. Kind of looks like Pride Rock. I don't know this map exceptionally well, but I know, like, all the important routes. Like, I know how to get to Foreman's Retreat. I know how to get to the Gold Mine. I know how to get to Anglers and to Timberwolf Mountain in both ways. There's a couple of little ledges that I forget where the road climbs to get up them are, and I'm not fully versed in the, like, ravine part. But not too bad. Ugh. The falling rock visual effect is new, so it kind of scares me every time it happens. I must have rested here before. Here's another angle on Tulane Falls. See kind of the top. And then our second treacherous rope bridge. That's a route. So this one, I'm going to find a spot where the ropes are, like, I'm pretty sure you can't fall off here. And sort of show that beautiful vista before very quickly moving on. Because these ropes are a little bit, the first time you cross one of these, so scary. Same with we're going to go across a trestle. And I'm probably going to be really quiet while we're crossing the trestle because it still stresses me out. I know you have more of a grace period than you think. Oh no, we're losing the weather. You have more of a grace period than you think. It's so sad because this is one of the best parts. You can see so much of it. It's fogging up here. I know you have, like, a little bit more space than you think before you fall off that bridge, but oh my god, it's so scary. Like, those bridges are scary, but they got nothing on the trestle between Mystery Lake and Coastal Highway and the ravine. The ravine that you can very easily fall to your death in. Been many a run-ender. It's been around in the game forever, so there's probably, other than wildlife, it might be, like, wildlife and cold. It might be #1 dumb way to die in this game, is to fall off that trestle. Alright, gonna climb up here. And then, I hope this clears. This is really unfortunate. We've seen most of the beautiful bits of Ash Canyon. Now, at this point on the tour, it's mostly just getting through it to get to the summit of Timberwolf Mountain. Because in the gold mine for gameplay serves a very important purpose, because when you go there the first time, you can claim the technical backpack, and the technical backpack is really important because it gives you +5 to your carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is really, really important in this game. Most of the gameplay of this game is walking around hauling stuff, putting stuff that is somewhere else. So the more stuff that you can put somewhere else is pretty key. I have +15 for three things. I have well fed, which means I've been keeping my hunger above 0 for 3 days. They implemented that because there's a tactic you can do called Starvation Tactic, where you only need, I think it's 6 cattails and cattails are 150 each. So 3. You only need 900 calories a day to survive, because you can sleep off. You can sleep to restore health. So you'll lose health during the day, but you lose so little health from starvation that you can just, if you eat 6 cattails or 900 calories before bed, you can go to bed and heal all the health that you've lost. Here we've got a little cave. I think I'm going to push to the gold mine despite our foggy weather. But you can heal a bunch of, you can heal off all the starvation damage. So in order for the devs to be like, we don't want people to only do starvation tactic. Like, that gets boring. We want you to have to find food. They, instead of patching the exploit, did something really cool where they gave you the option to do well fed, which means you get +5 carrying capacity if you stay above 0 for 3 days and maintain that. So that's where 5 of it comes from. I have 5 from the moose hide satchel, which you get from curing a moose pelt, which I think takes like 10 days. You have to kill the moose too. Obviously, you can't just take its pelt alive. So that gives you +5, and then my other +5 is from the technical backpack, which I got in the gold mine. So you should go to the gold mine if you're playing the long dark every time. But we can see a little bit here. We're going to be headed down there. That's where the gold mine is. There's this kind of cool rope apparatus. I don't actually have the rope attached, since we're going to do our first introduction to goading. And goading is basically named after mountain goading, and it's, you can just kind of, for downward slopes, you can just kind of go. Like, you're not really supposed to. It's a bit of an exploit, but you can just go down slopes, and you can get sprains that can be a little bit dangerous. We're going to try to be careful here. We're going to crouch so we don't fall. We might get a sprain, but we shouldn't fall. Okay, that was a little risky. If you go sideways, you shouldn't fall either. Oh, that could have been bad. We almost got a bruise there, but it looks like we didn't even proc a sprain, which is pretty rare. I feel like I almost always proc a sprain there. I guess I'm not heavy. I'm not over encumbered. So that's why. There's ptarmigans over there, those little birds. Remember when we were in Alaska and they said ptarmigans, and I'm like, that's just like the long dark? That's them. There's a mini waterfall here that I forgot about. And then this is the remnants of the gold mine. There are 3 gold nuggets that you can find in this game. Maybe 2. One of them, I actually don't know where all of them are. So I'm not going to say that. But none of them are in the gold mine, which is kind of funny. There is no gold in the gold mine, only coal and the technical backpack. So this would be pretty exciting on your first run if you get here. It's definitely a spot that every long darker should go to, and every long darker who's played for a while has been to, probably multiple times. Not actually that interesting for our tour. Not that interesting of a cave system. My favorite caves are the ice caves in... Remember, we gotta move the coal. Are the ice caves in Hush River Valley. Those caves are just so beautiful. They're so cool. The lighting mod I have messes them up a little bit, so that's a little unfortunate, but they're some of my favorite caves. Because they have the picture I showed you in the Mountaineers hut with sort of that bluish tint. They have those, like, it's the bioluminescent kind of like glow lichen situation, and they're just so beautiful. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I'm going to move our coal. I guess I don't have to do this. I'm kind of stocked, but it's a habit. It's a good habit for the long dark players. Okay, we want to go this way. I try to avoid the water because you can see it kind of makes your health go down while you're standing in it, which makes sense because it's frozen water. It also gets your boots wet. So I should have taken them off, but I didn't think about it, so say levy. Keep going this way. It's a little bit creepy because you get a little bit less light with this lantern. And here, you can see I sort of have a bunch of stuff that I have dropped. All the coal I gathered. Good practice is to take this, because I probably won't be here again. But the technical backpack is usually right there. I already have it in the save. And I may sleep here. No, I'll sleep in deer. No. it's going to take a while to get to deer clearing, so I should sleep in here before those rope climbs down. And the path from here to Timberwolf Mountain is not quite as scenic as the path up to the gold mine. But we're going to go ahead and sleep here. I know you can't see anything. I can't see anything either. Let's drink and eat our travel snacks. And sleep for 10, as long as we can, basically. Pick this up. Turn our lantern back on so we can see anything. Make sure I actually did pick up the bedroll because I've left it before, and that sucks when you leave your bedroll. Because then you're basically playing a much, much harder game. It's nighttime, so we might not have great visibility, but that's okay. We should be coming up on the exit soon. It'll be harder to see because in the nighttime it doesn't usually glow. Forgot I had to crawl through this. I keep pressing C because of Cyberpunk. C for Cyberpunk. Alright, back up. Alright, there's the leave mine. We're going to come out here. It sounds like perhaps a blizzard. Maybe just high winds. We'll see. Just high winds. But could turn into a blizzard. We don't have very good visibility. And I think this is where I will leave you today. We have just completed the gold mine. We're looking off into the mysterious distance. And in the next episode, we will climb Timberwolf Mountain and look at that beautiful vista. But for now, farewell, my beautiful girlfriend. I love you so much. And let me know if you like hearing about the game, you like me talking about all the regions, if I'm going too fast, if I'm saying too much stuff. And also let me know if you would just rather hear me talk about my day and you don't actually care about the game and it's just pretty scenery. You're never going to get me to not talk, to brag about my accomplishments. Like, I'm going to show you my safe house to be proud of it. In terms of talking about the gameplay, I could turn that down to talk more about myself, but it's also harder. Anyway, I love you so much, my beautiful girlfriend, and I hope you have a really nice night, or day, or whenever you're watching this. Bye. Mwah.